Alright, Shalom Aleichem. Welcome back. Now we're going to talk about adjectives. So how do adjective works? Well, adjectives are based very similar to like how the verbs and the nouns agree, okay? So here we have the masculine singular form, and down here we have the feminine singular form. Here we have the masculine plural, and here we have the feminine plural, okay? So, unlike English, English likes to use the adjective first and the noun last. Hebrew is backwards. It's the noun is first, the adjective is last. So, if you say fast runner, fast obviously is my adjective and runner is my noun. In Hebrew it would be runner fast. That's how we would actually attribute it. So what do we have to learn about adjectives? Well, adjectives have to agree based upon gender and based upon number. So if the adjective is going to be, for example, the word ish, then I'd have to use, which is the word man, and I'll use the word down here, anashim. Alright, anashim is the word for men. Here I'll put over here isha and nashim. So isha is woman and nashim is women. Okay? So we have to understand something about how this adjective is going to work. So adjectives are going to ask the question, is it feminine? Is it plural? So here I would say nashim tovot, and I would say isha tova. Why? Because the feminine singular is the right form that agrees with the feminine singular noun. The same thing that applies here. Tovot is my feminine plural, and it agrees with my feminine plural noun. So if I was to write this, I would say Nashim tovot. Women are good. Right? And here I understand that by knowing that this is a feminine noun, I know I'm using the feminine adjective. One thing we have to understand is what's the difference between one type of adjective and another? Well, there's types that are called attributive and there's other called that are predicative. Okay? Attributive nouns, attributive adjectives, these are going to be the adjectives. For example, if we're saying here, Nashim tovot, women are good, or good women, okay? This is actually what we would utilize this, okay? Nashim tovot, good women, right? Like if we saw, for example, women who were running out there, they saw an accident and they rushed out there to help the people, you know, we'd say, oh, Nashim tovot, these are good women. Alright? The same thing we would say here is with the word isha. Okay? Isha, I'll write it over here. Isha tova. Okay? A good woman. Alright? Isha tova. You know, you see your son-in-law, you know, and he's got a very wonderful wife, and she's very kind, she's very polite. He's isha tova, she's a very good woman. Okay, that's called attributive. So we need to understand something with regard to attributive, and that's the fact that when we're going to make our noun definite, okay, then two things will have to happen. Number one, our noun here will have to become definite. So that would become now ha-nashim, and then we have to make our adjective with a definite article. So now we're going to be saying hanashim hatovot. The same thing would apply with our singular noun. If I was to say ha'isha, then I have to add hatova. Okay? And that's when we're using attributive. Okay? The attributive form, we have to make both the noun definite, and we're going to put the definite article also on the adjective as well. Let's look at the same thing, but let's use the masculine form. Here in the masculine form, we're going to take the word ish here, and we're going to put the word tov. Ish tov, okay? We're going to say ish tov. We see a guy, he's giving tzedakah to people, and he does good deeds. We say ish tov, he's a good man, right? In the plural form, we're going to sit here and we're going to see the word anashim tovim, okay? Good men. We see these men who are willing to stand up for righteousness, willing to stand up against immorality. We say these are anashim tovim, these are good men, alright? The same thing applies here. We want to make, for example, this attributive statement into a definite. We'll have to change here the two parts. I'll erase this a little and give some more over here too, right? So here we'll put the word ish, and then we'll add ha, and then lastly we add ha here again. So ha'ish hatov, the good man, and then we add the same thing over here. Ha. Oh, don't want to forget here. Ha'anashim tovim. So now we see the good man and the good men. Now, one thing you don't want to do, don't get confused that you see the hey here and think you have to add the word the. You're not saying the man, the good. That's not what you're saying. Because this, the way it functions with the attributive or the adjective, wherever the adjective has to agree with the actual noun. Since the noun's definite, the adjective has to have the definite. So the whole thing is definite by itself on its own, okay? So this ha'ish, hatov, just means the good man. Just like here, hanashim hatovim. Let's see if we can get this even a little closer here. Alright, hanashim hatovim. This means the good men, okay? And this is called attributive, okay? You're describing about a person. This is, what we typically use when we're utilizing the adjective. So there's another form, and this other form we're going to be focusing on is the predicative use, okay? So how does the predicative use differ from that of the attributive? Well, in the predicative use, if I was to say, for example, ish, which is the word for man, and I was to say the word tov, okay, then here in this case, we're looking at it differently, okay? We said earlier, we said a good man, okay? Here in this case, we're going to say a man is good. Different in its whole meaning, okay? And that's in this part here. If we're going to say definite, we say ha, ish, but we don't do anything with the word tov. The man is good. Okay? So it's going to depend if you're using the attributive or you're using the predicative. Okay, so if you're using the predicative, it's only the noun that's going to be definite, and then the adjective will be left alone. So you're saying the man is good versus what we did when we did it with the attributive. We said with the attributive we said here the good man. Okay? So think about this. The man is good, the good man. Okay? Here we're saying something about the man. Here we're basically just describing the man. So think of this. When you want to talk about something, this is the predicative. When you're just describing something, this is the attributive. Okay? This is what you're doing with this. And you can do the same thing with the feminine form, and I'll use that too. If I was to say Hanashim Tovot. Okay? What am I saying? I'm saying the women are good. Alright? So remember, I'm talking about, I'm attributing to. So the predicative, I'm talking about something, I'm attributing something to someone. So if I was to use the attributive form, then basically I would be saying Hanashim Hatovot, alright? And what am I saying? I'm saying the good women. Alright? So here you're talking about something. Hanashim Tovot, women are good. Here you're attributing something. Hanashim Tovot, the good women. Alright? And this is going to end this area by we talk about adjectives. So just remember the rules with regard to adjectives. Number one, adjectives always have to agree with the noun that it is connected to. Okay? And adjectives, if they're in the plural, it's because your noun is plural. Okay? And if they're singular, it is because your noun is singular. And this is going to be the basic part of what we're talking about with regard to this. And I hope you enjoy, and we'll see you next time we do more lessons here of Learning Biblical Hebrew at the other month.